Now let's understand concept of constructor and when to use it. Let's understand. Hmm, let's assume there are a lot of other properties also. Um, can be like a string or boolean, um, is automatic. So the answer may be like true or false. Okay, when you say boolean, so whether this car is automatic, true or false. Correct. Fine. But uh, or maybe like integer number of what we say safety bags. What we say to that? Car has those airbags, right? Airbags. Number of airbags. Fine. Now let's assume a car is manufactured um, in a factory and they are maintaining their software. So these four things are fine. They know when they are making it. But this number of airbags, it is based on different models. Like, the top variant will have, let's say, four airbags, but the basic level will have two airbags. Correct? So it can be different. For the similar model, it can be different. Correct. But there will be always some default value. There will be always some default value for this. Moreover, you are filling this value explicitly. You are filling all these values explicitly. Correct. So there are three ways to fill the values. I'm writing it here now. There are multiple ways to fill or initialize the value of um, object variables or class variables, anything you can say as of now. So what I'm saying is here, if I want to put the value of car1's make, I will say car1 dot make is equals to something. So when I'm saying this in the program, car1 dot color is white. What happens in the background? It goes here and it assigns a value here. So it assigns that, okay, color for the car1 is actually red. It's like this. Okay, red. And model for the car1 is, we have declared Maruti Balloon. So I'm writing in shortcut MB. And the make for the car1 is 2020. Okay. So we are filling the values now through dot. Dot is also operator here. So when you want to fill the value in the object, you will say dot. Fine. This is one way, straightforward way to fill the values. But what about the values which you don't want to fill? There may be some default values also, correct? Or maybe some values which you don't want to fill at all. There are two things. One is default and one is we don't want to fill the values or you want to keep it as it is as of now, whatever is there. Correct. So for example, when you go to any place and let's say you are going to admission, school admission or the college admission, they will give you a form. There are some values which are mandatory. You have to fill it. And there are some places which you keep it blank. Okay, whatever is fine or the default things are fine. It's like this, correct? In the same way, when you are declaring a class, there may be some variables which you don't want to fill, right? Or maybe the default value is also fine for you, correct? then constructor is helpful. So let's understand now the concept of constructor. What theoretically we know about the constructor? Constructor has the same name as class name, very first name. It's uh, it's a method which has same name as class name. Perfect. Yes. So we'll see the practical thing. Second point which you should remember about the constructor is why we use it. So to initialize the variables, we use it, right? And third thing is you don't have to call it. You don't have to call constructor. You don't have to call constructor, right? It is automatically called when object is created. Perfect. What else? Fourth point is it doesn't have return time. Just four things, and all four things are true. So let's create constructor. Constructor has the same name as class name. Okay, car and car. But what is the difference between these two? This car is a class name, and this is a constructor, and it's a method. So you have to put the bracket here. But what to do here? Now the question is what to do here. So as the Java programming or the object-oriented programming they created, they say that use it to initialize the variable or the class level variables, right? So what they say is make make is let's say 0. When nobody is putting the value, keep it 0. Color by default, make it white or don't put it. So make it null. Model. So let's say every model is it's up to you whether you want what you want to put it. So let's say 1999. No, my bad. So make is 0. Model is again whatever you want to put. So as of now, null. Okay. Is automatic. So is automatic by default, it's false. It's not automatic. Number of airbags. Number of airbags by default. As per the law, we have to have at least 2 airbags. It's like this. So what will happen now? Whenever you will create a new object, for this car one, this value will be set. Whether you will provide it or not, this value will be set. Okay, I am giving you now a proper example. Let's create one car. Car 3 is equals to, I'll take the questions at the end, don't worry. First, understand it what I'm saying. So I'm making car number 3 and I'm saying new car. What will happen in the background? Let's understand now. For this car 3, if I am not putting any value, automatically for this car 3, make will be 0, color will be not defined, model is not defined, it's automatic, no, number of airbags 2. Why we need this? Now the question is you may ask, hey, why we want to do this thing? It's because you don't want to fill the values as of now. You want to fill it later on. It's possible, right? So when you take the admission, right? Is your college is taking all the details before you pay the fee? No. Maybe you will provide some simple details, but once you get the admission, maybe they will take more details about you. Right? It happens. So some values you want to fill right now, some values you don't want to fill right now, and some values you want to keep it default. So you can later on you fill the values you want to fill uh, or whatever value you want to fill. The rest of the value don't fill it. So for example, I'm filling the value for car 3. I want to say my car 3 will have color yellow. and car 3 is automatic is uh, true. Yes, it's automatic. I don't want to fill any other values. My car 3, I'm going to a car company and I'm saying, hey, I want yellow color car and it should be automatic. I don't worry about what it is make, what model you want to give me. My car should be yellow and it should be automatic as of now, right? So they will say, okay, we'll find out a car for you which is automatic and yellow. Later on, maybe they will ask you other question. Okay, are you good with this? Or are you good with this? That will be decided later on. So let me create a function. I will say, hey, show me the value for, I'm saying display, car 3 dot display. So let's create a function. Now we have to create a function. So let me create a function here. I'll say public display. And here I will print all the values. Okay. I'll say public void display and I will say system.out.println. What are the things I want to print? I want to put make, hold on, and five things are right. So make is there, model is there, uh, color is there, is automatic is there, number of airbags is there. Fine. So these are the things which you want to print. And I'm calling a function here, car 3 dot display. Okay. What will happen? So I'm calling a function through the object. So it will work on this object only. Okay. That's the beauty of object-oriented programming. So when I'm running this program, you will see that it is printing me these values. Why it is printing me these values? Because I said that, hey, print me make, model, color, is automatic, number of airbags. So hold on, I called this function also. That's why it is showing me. Let me run this program now. So when I'm running it, it is showing me 0 because the make is 0 as of now, model is null, color is yellow, is automatic is true, number of airbags are 2. Make and model, I have not decided yet. But when you are creating an object, these are the mandatory field. Let's say we should have these values. It may be null as of now. Okay. So what it proves now? It proves that constructor is called automatically. When you created this, automatically these values will go with car 3. Now you want to override it. Hey, I don't want to have color as null. I want to put it yellow. So car 3 will have color yellow. Is automatic by default it was false, but I want to make it true. Rest of the values are whatever is there, it's there. So make and color is still 0 and null, right? For the car 3. So that is constructor here. To initialize the variable. You are initializing it for your objects. Okay. And you don't have to call the constructor. Did I call a constructor? No. Did I call? This is the function. I didn't call it. It is called automatically when you create the object. You created the object. It is called automatically. Other functions you have to call it. See here. Display you have to call it because this is not constructor. It's user defined other kind of functions which you created. You have to call it explicitly. Until you will call it, nothing is going to happen. So let me comment it. Will it print the values? No, because you have not called it. Nothing has happened. So when you will call it, then only it will work. But constructor will be called automatically. This function is called automatically. And what is the other point? It doesn't have any return type, means you don't have to write here a void or integer or a string. No, constructor will not have any return type. It will not have any return statement. It is to do something which is very basic thing about the data. It's like this, about the variable. Okay. Yeah. So what question you have, Hitesh, you can ask now quickly. You can unmute and ask.
Yeah, so basically, so we can say there will be a default constructor always as soon as we create an object, right?
No, no, let's not mingle it. Default constructor is a separate concept. Okay. Here, I am making a constructor. Even if I'll not create it, Java will have create in the background its own constructor, which is not visible. That is default constructor. Okay.
Okay.
This
So
we
basically,
created it.
okay, so basically we have created a constructor by
Hmm.
our own instead of
Yeah.
creating the default constructor by Java on the background.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that is why number of airbags is coming as two here instead of null or zero, we can say.
Correct, because we made it. See, I did not put the number of airbags to be two. Did I put it for the car three? No. Car three, I am saying only yellow and true for the is automatic. Did I put the number of airbags? No. But still it's saying for the car three number of airbags it's true is two. Why? Because in the constructor level I said by default the number of airbags should be two. It's like this. Okay.
Okay, and sir, one more thing. So it means if there will be no default constructor, then definitely for these variables that we have created into the class level, so there would be undefined. So we will get the undefined error to avoid this. So there will be a default constructor, right? That is my understanding.
Try your own thing. So it's a good question. What you have to do it now is don't create the construct. Okay, don't create this
Mhm.
thing and just print color, make everything. Don't do this thing. Let's understand. Don't do this thing. Okay. But
Okay.
still you can create the car, right? You can create
Mhm.
the object because it has instance variable. Correct.
Right.
So
Right.
obviously this is going to create like car three, car this one, and any number of cars you can create, but you have to see what default value will come, right? Even if you will not initialize it, right? So
Mhm.
what we want to do is by doing our own explicit constructor is we don't want a default constructor. We want our own details as a default values or the initialized value at the very first time. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like this. That's why we
Okay.
create constructor. Very simple
Mhm.
answer. And it's very true. What is constructor? Constructor is a method which has the same name as the class name. Yes, it's a method which has the same name as the class name. Why we use it? We use it to initialize the instance variables, right? And you don't have to call this method because whenever you will create the object, it will be called automatically. This is a non-parameterized constructor. What we have created here is non-parameterized constructor. So we'll see now what is parameterized constructor next time.